Hey, welcome. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. It helps us out. And share this video. We actually need a lot of shares. Well, I think anybody needs shares, but to really get the decks out, get these decks out. Maybe one day the meta would change because of us, or a deck can at least change because of us. We have some really good deck ideas, or some really good decks, just period, right? Now, bringing this one up, I gotta be like, hey, this is a prototype. We're gonna be, for the most part, sharing our decks a lot sooner because the One Piece meta changes so quickly. Thanks to the whole 0.5 system going on. It's like you get a box and you get a collection of starter decks. You get a box and you get a collection of starter decks. So with this video in particular, well, probably any of the videos moving forward in the future, we are going to release them a little early and just explain and break it down where we're going with it. So I think with any black deck, to be honest, that came out early, talking about the early days, right? So we're looking at Sakazuki, looking at Kuzan, looking at Z. I think the goal is 10 drop Kuzan. Did I say all that right? No, I think I messed up. Smoker, Sakazuki, Z, right? I think the goal is 10 drop Kuzan. And they just didn't provide an adequate set of cards so we can comfortably get to 10 drop Kuzan. And I think that's what held black decks back in those days, in the early days of black decks. So let's get into the point. If you haven't concluded, this deck is trying to be made to help you get to your Kuzan, because that's when everything's going to change for you, is a Kuzan drop. And also, what's funny is a friend of mine has helped me figure out like the different ways that we get stuck in our ways as One Piece players, and it's real easy to get stuck in our ways as One Piece players. So what I mean by that is he was playing with starter deck, and this is what, OP02, I think. He's playing with starter deck. I'm playing with a custom deck. He's using Kuzan. I was using Kaido, and it felt like he had an actual opportunity to beat me, but it was the way he was playing which caught me off guard. He just made sure to take care of my blockers. I know I shared this story once upon a time, and I was just like, wait a minute. So if you don't tunnel vision on trying to use your leader ability to get rid of the biggest threat on the board and just focus on, whatever is necessary to help you achieve your victory, which could be blockers or an annoying good effect 5 drop or 4 drop, like the whole game changed. So I was just like, wow, that's nuts. Just that change. So yeah, so going into, ooh, look at that. So wait, could we have pop? That had to be a misclick. Yup. That had to be a misclick. So anyway, what you call it? So yeah, so different concepts of playing something, different concepts of building. So it's just like, I say all that, yeah, I don't know, saying things. No, there's a point. I'm just brain fogging right now. I want to revisit a lot of old leaders. And for the most part, just like figure out what was their intent. What was the intent behind these leaders, and how are we supposed to play them compared to how we wanted to play them, So like going back to Sakazuki, I know we wanted to play him where we just was able to get rid of 10 drops over and over again with leader ability, but that's irrational. And then I realized for a lot of the old black leaders, you needed 10 drop Kuzan because he did the continuous -5, and that's what we had at the time. That was our strong cost reduction. He really needs this Brook off the board. But now, he doesn't attack. Oh, because okay, my bad. Anyway, See, like, so right now, we can actually swing and probably go for Boa. Well, okay, so if we want like a guaranteed pop, we go for the Jinbei, but go for Boa, that would bait him into blocking. But it looks like we're going for a more guaranteed pop while putting pressure, which is not a bad way to go about things. Well, see, like right now, this is one of those accurate moments to wait. Yeah, this is it's not what I was talking about. We would have lowered the blocker and then used leader ability. So my bad on that one. It felt like an accurate moment, but the benefit of this particular play is it puts him in a position where he has to think, do I use my blocker? Do I take damage? Because he's in a very compromised position. So it's still effective in how things got conducted. Now, granted, I will say in a roundabout way, our player isn't playing towards the original strategy, and you have so little resources. I felt like it was worth just letting the Kuzan get dropped. That way they can start attacking life. You got all your life. Yep, you got 5 life, 1 card in hand. This is what it looks like. I mean, sometimes you are in that position, but yeah, this is what it looks like if you overprotect. Well, okay then. We just got hit with a Hody Jones. We should definitely be losing our board. He'll be nuts if he decides to go for life and leave this board up. We are definitely compromised right now. Okay, so unless it's Boa, he can't afford to restand anything. But then, it'll be risky to compromise his own board development because he has to bounce. So yeah. So yeah, right now the player did not go for the intended strategy. So what you probably had saw him discard was the 1-drop Sengoku. That Sengoku is supposed to help you dig into your deck to find the Kuzan. Because one of the big problems behind Kuzan was the fact that you couldn't search for him. That definitely held the deck back. It definitely held the deck back in general. Attack for 7. So the benefit of using Helmelpo right now is just like it has a good chance of being a blocker next turn. I approve of just swinging at life and putting them in a very compromising position, because there's a chance we might be able to KO the blocker next turn. We have a Tashigi. Oh, we're going for game now? Well, we do have the Dawn count to threaten lethal. See, that's 8. Very close to 9. Okay, we got that. Yeah. Ooh, 2 bricks. But yeah, so without there being a way to search for 10-drop Kuzan, it just compromised all black decks, pretty much. It was just like, well, you wanted us to use this leader, but you put us in a very compromised position where we're going to mulligan for a 10-drop. We're going to play 4 copies. Maybe they wanted us to play 4 copies. Who knows? But it's like, we're supposed to mulligan for a 10-drop. We're supposed to play 4 copies. Like, what is it that you want us to do to make sure this is actually consistent? Because it's very inconsistent. And then red was dominant, and the pressure behind red was a little too much. So that was another thing. It's like by the time you even got to the turn where you could play Kuzan, he was irrelevant because the pressure was too high. And that happened for a long time. I think we're in a weird point in the meta where it's healthy enough for people to do 10 drops. So yeah, that's why we are visiting this. I wanted to visit all the old leaders in general, but that's part of the reason why we are revisiting this Sakazuki. It is like, oh, okay, that Sengoku came out. We got Sengoku, we got Sabo. This should make it more consistent. And of course, let's give a round of applause for the 4-drop Kuzan. So like this should make finding 10-drop Kuzan a lot more consistent and should help the flow of the deck a lot better. Because the moment you got one on the board, as long as you aren't like on the verge of losing, of course, as long as if you got one on the board, then the second one takes out anything, right? The second one is going to take out anything, and then your leader ability can take out anything, and that's it. It'll be toxic, right? So just make something like that consistent. Now, I will say, using the I know Kobe is seeing a return in the meta. I'm not too sure about Sakazuki, but it's like ever since we've gotten so much fear of discarding cards, it always makes me nervous playing like Sakazuki or Kobe. It was just like, oh no, hand is so important, we can't afford to discard. But now it's like we're seeing how important handling an opponent's board is. So it's like, hey, you know what? These cards hit a very high threshold for their turn count. They hit a very high threshold for their turn count. Maybe they're worth using. So, and we strategies will always change. We'll revisit old situations and say, you know what, this actually does help. We just have to know what to prioritize, when to do this, and when to play. And Sakazuki is what, a 7K that pops a 5. That's a very high threshold. So, respectfully, you just gotta minus something by something, and then you're probably taking out a really big body. Okay, so Kuzan is a very strong threat. So right now we can just easily clean up their Katakuri. If we choose to, we can attack with our Kuzan and minus that by 4, and then just play our Sakazuki. And then now they have a 7K body they have to deal with. Yep. It's funny how Kuzan was always strong, but it was a learning lesson. I'm talking about 4-drop right now. It was a learning lesson because back in those days, people were really trying to figure out how to use them. They're like, whether they don't. I've seen decks not play him. They didn't like the lack of counter. They didn't like how slow it was. They had to, take a turn to attack to do the -4. And the draw 1 didn't feel like it helped enough. And then it's like, now that we started learning the game better, all of a sudden he's just a staple. So I find things like that so funny. Well, this Puddin's in a very compromised situation. We have a hand full of cards. They're about to lose their big drop. We don't need to search. Brand new. What are you going to search for? At this point, it's a risk because the next card you should be looking for is 10-drop. Yeah. We're choosing not to attack with Brook. Now, I would have actually liked to see Sengoku being played. I really think we should be digging for 10-drop Kuzan, but I think our player just has to get adjusted to the deck because so far the intended oh look, we have him in hand. Well, we gotta see if we're gonna choose the mulligan. So we're choosing to keep. Now obviously starting the game with a 10-drop is a little bit uncomfortable, but let's see how this game goes. But yeah, so the player has to, I want to assume, has to get, they have to reprogram themselves because it seems like they are too uncomfortable discarding anything with the Sengoku. But the whole point, granted, we won and things was played well, so I wouldn't change it. Like, obviously hindsight is 2020, but it's like the goal, he had both the Sengoku and the Sabo, and that's 5 cards. If you could have, played them both, that would have been 5 cards into the deck. We did play a 4-drop Kuzan, so 6 cards. So that's a whole new hand, and like just outright, right? That's a whole new hand that we could have dug into the deck to find our 10-drop. So I'm hoping to. I was hoping to see more of that, or just see any of it. We haven't gotten to see any of it, and in this match, we have the 10-drop Kuzan, so we don't have to search for it. So sorry about that, guys. You didn't get to see the intended flow of the deck, but at least you guys know. Hopefully, we can catch a video where the engine is being used. But I do hope this sparks ideas and creativity. We also have a smoker deck. We have some videos I got to get to, displaying a similar mechanic. But yeah, when you think about it, I think it's self-explanatory. If you have 10-drop Kuzan on the board, the game gets easier for black decks. So it's just like, I think it's pretty much a given. So I think looking at a swing and a, what's that guy called? Brook development, that guarantees you should get something off the board. Maybe we should swing with 2 characters, see if Yuta actually wants to take all the cards or use 1 blocker. But the truth is, once we swing, whichever one we cost reduce, they're going to block with it. At least they should. And if they don't, then they give us the extra value. Okay. Come on, with all those cards in hand, I just feel like it screams we have the play. Yeah, I just felt like it screamed we had the play. I just felt like it. Too many cards in hand. I would have just blocked to get some value out of the blocker. Or maybe if you look at it a different way, especially since Yuta can just draw more cards, maybe they just wanted us to play out our cards so they don't have to worry about it later. Because, I don't know, in a roundabout way, I think that is a strategy to deal with black as well. It's like, I'd rather you start popping this stuff now instead of popping my late game stuff. All right, we're very close to our 10-drop, and if we keep our Kuzan alive, then we can pretty much take anything off the board. Combo it, like you attack, you guys know, attack, then play 10-drop. But we also have Brook. Oh, so we're gonna swing. So if we swing, we kind of put him in jeopardy. But are we gonna swing because we see a worthwhile play? Is that what it is? No, yeah, that is beneficial. We could, I thought we had stage, but I think we have 2. Maybe we could play more stages, because it's being that we're playing the 6-drop Sakazuki. If we get duplicates of stages, we can just chuck it or play it, because it's a -2 on the turn it's played. So we're gonna try to keep our Kuzan active. Okay, we're keeping our Kuzan active. And we're gonna get rid of their Luffy. Okay, I respect it. Well, 10-drop is around the corner. You could get rid of Helmeppo. If you hold on to see, I was thinking Sabo too, but I was like, you know what? Blocker benefit is a little too strong. But then we also got Garp, so hey, maybe it's not the end of the world. And we're swinging anyway? Oh, wow. I get it. Now, the opponent, I was like, okay, come on. Oh, that's a 6. So they're just going to lose it no matter what. That's hilarious. Are we activating leader ability? Is that a 4? I could have sworn I saw 4. Okay, there we go. Because it should be 0. I would go with Helmeppo. You have 10 drop Kuzan. You have all. You're gonna have. Okay. The reason why I didn't want Brook is because, you know, with 10 drop on the board and we're going up against Yuta, we don't really have to worry about anything except for the 10 drop snakes. So we're definitely going to have very, very strong plays. 10 drop Kuzan, and then afterwards, Brook is probably going to pop anything they have. I mean, there is another way to look at it. You play Kuzan, and then you can have Helmeppo to help, you know, cost reduce more if you need it. But I don't know. Oh, we gotta see, does it hit a target? Hits a 3? Okay, cool. That is great value. That is very great value. We're gonna use a 2K. Okay, thank you. Especially with them being completely tapped out. Great, now we can do some swings into that board. I would swing with, yeah, there you go. Oh, okay then. I was gonna say swing leader into Brook to encourage them to lose a card. And then, what do you call it? We're gonna leave the Brook on the board, okay. Oh, hilarious. Okay, that's right. Okay, well, that makes more sense. It's like you still got it off the board and you force your opponent to, you know, figure out how they're going to manage their resources. Well, I want to say that's technically, oh no, we had a blocker and they clearly must not have an I'm invincible, but because Brook is just going to take something off the board right now. Brook can take something off the board. Yeah, we could probably threaten lethal here. If we really want to, our leader can take something off the board. Okay. Should we raw swing? I think we should raw swing with No. We could have really could have threatened lethal, I think. 7. If we had put Don on our leader. Oh, we got that. We still have the blocker. Okay, we're gonna play it safe. And that's game. I can't see them being able to protect themselves this turn, or the best thing they got is an I'm invincible play. But we have 2 blockers, 2 life, so they just rested one of our blockers. So that's still 3 swings they have to get through. We have 2K counter power, 3K counter power. Okay, that goes through, and then we could just block or just check cards. How about both? Yeah, that's game. G. Thanks for watching, and please give us a subscribe.